Today we're working on numbers and patterns, which can be found on pages 6 through 9 of your Course 2 math textbook. Our purpose today is to learn to identify and extend patterns. Mathematics is a series of patterns, and we'll talk about that more throughout the entire course. We'll be using the Georgia Performance Standard M7P5A. We'll be using the guided practice to get us through today's instruction. We're going to identify a possible pattern, use the pattern to write the next three numbers, and for further information on these, you can also see your textbook example 1. When we start out looking at problem 1, we notice that to get from 6 to 14, I have to add 8. Once again, to get from 14 to 22, I also add 8. From 22 to 30, I'll add 8. Well, we will do the same thing for the next three numbers. I will add 8, and add 8, because that is our pattern. We'll add 8 to every number. So that means that our first answer is 38. Then the next one would be 38 plus 8 is 46. 46 plus 8 is 54. For the next one, when I look at it, I begin to say, well, to get from 1 to 3, I add 2. And then from 3 to 9, I would have to add 6, and then 9 to 27. That doesn't make sense. But if I look closely, from 1 to 3, I multiply by 3. From 3 to 9, I multiply 3. 9 to 27, I multiply by 3. So that's my pattern. I will simply multiply by 3 on every one of those. So 27 times 3 is 81. 81 times 3 is 243. 243 times 3 is 729. So for my number 3, I look at it and say, how do I get from 59 to 50? Well, I subtract 9. From 50 to 41, I subtract 9. From 41 to 32, I also subtract 9. That's my pattern all the way across. 32 minus 9 is 23. 23 minus 9 is 14. And 14 minus 9 is 5. So we just simply use that same idea coming across for the next one. Well, to get from 8 to 9, I add 1. From 9 to 11, I add 2. From 11 to 14, I add 3. So that means my pattern would be adding 1 more than I did the last time, every time. So if I added 3 to get from 11 to 14, I would add 4, which would be 18. Adding 5 would be 23. Adding 6 would be 29. For problems 5 and 6, we have visual patterns that we have to follow. So with problem 5, I have triangles. So I know that my next three will be triangles. That's pretty simple. And I just simply look at my diagram and I notice that every one of them look the same as far as the lines cutting through. What is different is the colors. And if you look at this one, it rotates clockwise to get to that one. That one also rotates clockwise. So everything's going to rotate clockwise. If you notice the orange, it went from there to there, from there to there, and so forth. So for the next one, it would come to, I guess I should say red more than orange, it would be down in this area. Then it would move to this area, and then finally that area. Now with the yellow, it was here. So that means it will go to there, and then to here. So that would be how the next three would look for number 5. Now for number 6, it's just simply rotating 90 degrees counterclockwise every time. So my next one would be a P in that direction. Rotating again counterclockwise would be a P in that direction, and then one laying on its back. Now for 7, we would see example 3. We're supposed to make a table that shows the number of green triangles in each figure, then tell how many green triangles are in the 5th figure of the pattern. Use drawings to justify your answer. In my first figure, so let's put figure and then triangles. Figure 1, I have 1, 2 green triangles. In figure 2, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. In figure 3, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, using our patterns that we learned in the first 6 problems, for 4 and 5, I just simply say that to get to here, I added 2. I added 2, I will add 2, and again I'll add 2. Which means that 4 should have 8, and 5 should have 10. Now let's test our theory through drawings like it says for us to do. So figure 4 would have 4 boxes, and that would be green, that. So we do indeed have 8 green triangles in our 4th figure. For the 5th figure, I would have 5 boxes, And if we did our math correctly, we should indeed have 10 green triangles, and we do. Now all of these problems can be found on page 8 of your Course 2 textbook. For additional resources, go to gohrw.com, keyword MS7 1-1.